Hi, I just wanted to give you a quick getting started video for Craft Artist Professional 2. Please bear with me because I'm new at this and I know I'm going to mess up a lot, but I'm going to try. Now when you open up the program, this is going to be your landing screen, and because Daisy Trail is closed, some of these options on this screen you're just going to want to ignore, like the Get More. That's going to link you straight to Daisy Trail, but it's not a valid website. You're going to hit a dead end there. And the same thing with the Daisy Trail Gallery forums. So you just want to ignore that. But this one right here where it says Craft Artist 2 User's Guide, you can get to the user guide from here. It's going to take you to a second screen and you can view it under the PDF format. Now this middle section where it says open, when you're just starting out, it's going to have all these sample. I'm starting with a clean install, so that's why it's showing sample. But as you start to do more projects, it's going to show them here where you can open them up quickly. It also gives you the option here to open from a file. The Make and Do projects, those were pretty much, again, in the DigiKits from Daisy Trail, so you're probably going to ignore that too. The two most important things here are choose the template and blank project. Now, I'm going to hit choose a template, but because I've used this program so long, there's a lot of things that are going to show in mine, which you won't see in yours. This one, the craft projects, the majority of this stuff is from the kits, but what you're going to focus on is down here where it shows DigiKits. When you start creating your own DigiKits, you're going to have these options down here. And then, let's see. Like that's a template. You may have seen me use that one before. Again, another template. So for right now, you're not really going to worry about this too much until you start creating more content. Now the most important thing I think is this one where it says blank project. Here, this is where you're going to go to your page setup. There's always help over here to help you walk through it, but it's kind of self-explanatory. If you just double click on these, it'll open up. These are your standard sizes, and again, it tells you right here. In all these years I've been doing this, I really have not used gift wrap or the party crafts. I do use custom a lot, and when you go to custom, you come over to this side, custom again, and then it opens another box for you to set in like your custom sizes, your orientation, your fold. And even though it doesn't show here, if you click on these, it'll allow you to make the changes. You can go from letter to legal, orientation, and it also gives you the folding types, and this will help you if you want to do like booklets or multi-page items. I'm just going to go back and I'm going to pick a simple 8.5 by 11 page. And I'm going to ignore this for right now. We'll come back to this in another video. One of the most important things for me has always been is going up here to your tool option, and from here you have options. If you click on that, this allows you to customize your program. Now, when you're moving through this, if you change this number here, this is the number of undos that you can do. And just remember that the more undos you have, the more levels back you go, the more memory this program is going to take up. And it is a memory intensive program, so I also suggest closing down other windows if you can while you're working on this. Now, this is also autosave file. Default is 15 minutes, honestly, because I know that at times this program can be glitchy. It's usually like when you've done the most amount of work. That's when things want to shut down. So I usually keep mine to autosave about every 2 minutes. And I like to raise my resolution up to about 200 too. And then you could just go on down the list. This is general. Under auto update, because Daisy Trail is closed and there are no more updates for this program, you're going to want to deselect that. Now this is your DigiKit locations. This is when you start to make your own content and where you want it to save. This one here, Serif Craft Artist Packs, that's the default for, again, Daisy Trail files. But this is the location where all the content that I create goes. Upload. This is invalid again because Daisy Trail is non-existent, so don't worry about that. Then going into layout. Here you're going to set if you want to work in inches or if you want to work in metrics. And again, you can just pick whichever settings you want to use here. Your snapping, if you want your items to snap to lock into a position on the page. I like to move my items around freely on the screen, so I leave my snapping unchecked. Grids and guides. Now, again, once you go here, you can set up what your preferences are. For my guides, I like to keep them red so that I can see them. But if you just click, you could select any color or even custom color your grids. Back in the options. Draw quality. I pretty much keep everything at 96 DPI, which is the system default. Again, you can raise that, but just know it's going to take up more RAM in the system. Okay. Here's your text. Make the changes. You could change it to different languages. English, United States, or United Kingdom. And again, you can check on things that you want to be changed for your spell check. If there are words that you want to add to your dictionary words that you use a lot, or that are often called as being misspelled. You can add them to your dictionary here. Like, my company name is Number 4 Creations, but I use a K instead of a C, and so to keep that from keep coming up as a spelling error, I have it in my words. Here's your autocorrect options, and again, change it as it best suits you. User interface. If you do not want to see that startup screen when you open your program up all the time, you can disengage it here. Your tool feedback, some of this snapping guides. Once you get more familiar with your program, you'll see if you want to change some of these, because they can be distracting for some users. Okay, your studio keys. This section here is going to refer to these items here and on this side over here. Your keyboard, a lot of the common keyboard shortcuts will work, like Control P for print, Control V for copy. But they're here. So if you know shortcut keys already, you can use them, or like me, try to figure them out. One thing I've never learned. Appearance. Now this gray is the default coloring for this, but here you can always go through and change your colors. Okay, for me, and you'll probably see other videos, I like blue. It's just visually easier for me. And then also you can change your icon and wording sizes. Again, I use large. Then your toolbars. You can determine which toolbars you see here, and just click to add them or hide them. And the last part is the customization, which is nice because you can move things around on your keyboard if you like. And I'm going to go up here. I'm just putting this heart on here so that this option pop back up. And this little icon was for Daisy Trail. But if you push this button, it gives you the option to add or remove buttons, and this is the standard toolbar. I removed that one because, again, the sharing option is no longer available. And then also, if you want to delete any of these things from it, you can Just click them and it will remove them. Here you also see your shortcuts more clearly. And I guess that's just about it for just getting started with the before I end, there's one other thing I want to show you again just to get started is where we change those guides in different colors. If you pull them into your onto your paper, this will just make it so much easier when it comes to setting up things like your chip bags. And then right here, that was a right click. It gives you different options and it gives you the options to change your measurements. I tell you, I've been using this program for years and I just figured out how to do this. And this one just works well for me because I also use another program where I have to use millimeters, and so it makes it so much easier to go back and forth and kind of cheat to get my correct measurements when I need it. And when I come back on another video, I will break down this panel here and these options over here. Okay, thanks.